Hi. I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Hi.
Hi.
I said, I've had this on for like 5 minutes, just waiting for someone to
Perfect, because you're all
come on.
ready. So we're live in the group right now. So hi, guys.
Oh, hi.
And we'll wait a few minutes. We'll get started in a couple minutes. So you can see he's coming on.
This cat that we rescued is crazy. I forgot that you have cats for like 17 years. I don't know if I want a cat for 17 years.
Hi, Kat.
He's cute, but he's a kitten. Like he's 3 months old. He's a jerk.
Oh, there's Z and baby.
And he's a baby. Oh, I see the head. Hi. Oh,
She's like right now she's sleeping. So good. Oh, you're muted.
oh, is she gonna have an interpreter? Well, you have to come over here, honey. I'm seriously like so nervous.
Whitney, I'm right after you on the schedule, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're my first one.
Good, because I'm just hoping to talk while she's sleeping.
Yeah, we'll make sure you're the first one. How's that?
She had
Yeah,
a
I think I was second.
yesterday, so I'm like, she's either sleeping or she's screaming. Like there's no middle ground right now.
We'll just wait a couple seconds to see. Hey, Jessica. I think we're totally says we're streaming in the group. So
Oh, we are.
rock on. Yay. This was a lot smoother this week.
We're in the live group, or where is it live in the?
We're in the discussion.
I'm in the discussion.
Okay, so we'll get started. It's 7 on my clock. Good morning. Happy episode 3 of our coffee talk. I'm super excited to be a part of this. I just really fast before I turn it over to today's speakers. I'm Whitney. I have shared my story, and so did my husband in episode 1. And I actually hosted last week's too, and it's just such a fun thing to be a part of. All of us are on totally separate teams, but what we like to say is that we all work together and we all came together to do this because my philosophy is work smarter, not harder, and why not use everybody, because you can do this no matter where you are, what you do, if you have kids, if you don't have kids, if you work a full-time job, if you don't, it doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter if you have weight to lose, if you don't, if you know fitness, if you know nutrition. Like if you watch my episode, I knew nothing and I had 80 pounds to lose. So like it doesn't really matter. Or like today we're having Ashley speak, who she's a fitness instructor and she's ripped. So like honestly, any level can do this and any knowledge. And so I think and you can, you'll learn everything. You don't need to know anything, and we all learn from each other. And that's why this group is so magical. So I am going to turn it over to Z and let her go first because she has sleeping baby.
That we hope stays sleeping. Can you guys all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. She just kicked the pacifier out too, you guys. It's like she knows, I swear. Hi, guys. I am so excited to speak on this call. It's hearing Whitney speak about all of us kind of being on different teams, but this is probably the best team I've actually been a part of since I started Beachbody. And it could not have come at a more perfect time, because having my first baby, I was so worried, like, how am I going to do all the things? And we somehow all got linked, and it is such a powerful group of coaches. And those are the resources available to all of our people too, anyone who's joining all of us, where we don't have to do all the things, and we don't want to, because we're so much more powerful together. It's incredible just in a couple months, I feel like, what our group has been able to do together. And so I'll start and I'll tell you guys my story. I was like I have the most traditional background you can imagine. Like I finished high school, my dad's a professor, so I went to college, I got my first job, I went back and got my MBA, I went straight to the corporate world, and I was like, I'm gonna climb to the top, and that's the only goal I have. And I started to do that. I worked in the finance HR industry in San Francisco. And then I met my husband, who's like the biggest dreamer. And he would always talk about residual income. And I'm like, well, with a finance background, I totally get it, but I think you're a dreamer. And I kept saying that, like, that's not realistic. Like, I'm just going to do the 9 to 5, which was so much more of like a 7 or even sometimes 6 a.m. in San Francisco to beat traffic to like 8 p.m. And I just did that over and over. And I thought, I'll take my little tiny raise and one day I'll retire. And that's like the life I want. Well, he was involved with other MLM companies. And while I saw the vision of the income potential, I hated it. I hated everything about it because I didn't fall in love with the product. And while he was doing his thing on the side of his career, working in an MLM, because he saw the vision for our family of a residual income career, I was putting on weight living in San Francisco, working my 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And at the time we weren't married yet. So we were about to get married, about 6 months away. And I've tried like all these Instagram diets and all this stuff and spent money that was totally wasted. And I had a girlfriend post about a challenge group. And it was kind of my last resort. It was like, gosh, she's been posting for so long. Let's see what this is all about. And I went into it like the most reluctant challenger you could imagine. I just figured I was going to waste another 100 and I don't know how much it was at the time. I think I bought the kit that comes with the 3-day refresh, like the whole challenge and the 3-day, $180 maybe, something like that. And I was prepared to throw it away because I wanted to convince myself my body is different. My body is broken. It will never get me where I want to be. Well, it took like a week. And I will say not to lose all the weight, it took a week for me to fall in love. Like I did one thing and I'm so happy I did. And I encourage you guys, no matter what you do this, go all in. So for that first week, I was like, these annoying people on the Facebook page that won't stop commenting, I'm going to jump in and be a part of it. I'm going to post my sweaty selfie, even though that was so not me. I'm just going to jump in. And I fell in love with it so hard. I went online before anyone could even ask me, and I became a coach 2 weeks in. I just went online. I figured out how to sign up, and I messaged my coach, and I go, hey, I just did this coach thing. And she got super excited. And from there, you guys, it was just, I think, my excitement that led one thing to the other. I fell in love with the entire company. I fell in love with the product. And I remember thinking to myself, how am I going to tell my husband I'm somehow in an MLM? Like, he knew I was a Beachbody coach, but he thought I was doing it just for the discount and for fun. And I remember the first time I got a check, I was like, I'm getting paid to be fake, honey. And he's like, that's awesome. 6 months in, I looked at him and I was making more than he was in this MLM that he'd been doing for 2 years. And Beachbody's not a get rich quick scheme. I want to make sure you guys understand. I think it's because I was so excited and I did all the things my coach told me to do. But we had a serious talk and I was like, honey, look, like, you sure you don't want to join me? And he did. He canceled everything else. He was already a coach, but like kind of just a silent coach. He went in with me, and I worked as a Beachbody coach alongside my full-time, very demanding career for about 2 years. I hear a lot of people tell me they don't have time. And I'll tell you guys this, if you are passionate about something and you are willing to sacrifice crap from your schedule, guys, I didn't sacrifice like important things. I sacrificed junk. I sacrificed like mindless Facebook scrolling for purposeful Facebook time. I sacrificed stupid TV watching. Like, my husband and I still watch like a quality show together, but I sacrificed like the crap that would waste my time. So if you're willing to look at your schedule and skim the fat, and skim that crap time, you can make this work. I mean, there were times in my corporate job, like I would respond to people and it'd be like my bathroom time. Like I'd be in the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, this is my time to respond. But I was having fun and I loved it. And having my baby now and being able to work from home, I didn't even think that was a possibility when I started. I just did it because I loved it. I was like, I actually work for a company or represent a company that wants me to take care of me. Like, my corporate job, first thing they were going to have me sacrifice is my health. And so now I had a company say, hey, the first thing I want you to do is focus on you. And I figured if I'm going to I don't care if I make $5, I got to focus on me, right? Like, I don't care if I make nothing. So that's kind of what I went into it with. And I am a full-time Beachbody coach. I've been a full-time Beachbody coach before I got pregnant with her. I can honestly say that helped me have like an incredible pregnancy, because the days I was sick, I got to be home. It was amazing. And I get to be with her here and still be a part of something. I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom because I like to be a part of something and hit goals. And I just talked about this yesterday. I was like, I really feel like I'm so lucky I never had to make that choice. That's my super fast story in a nutshell. If any of that resonates with any of you guys and you have questions for me, or you want to learn more, totally just comment below, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Oh, thanks, Z. You made me emotional there at the end, because it's so cool to see you home with your baby. And that's, I mean, it just makes me realize how grateful I am. Like, my kiddo's getting ready for school back behind us here, and
it makes me want to cry.
just being able to be here for him is something I never thought I'd be able to do. I used to work super early in the morning, and he went off to daycare at like 6 a.m. And so to be here at 7 a.m. on a freaking Wednesday morning, like, just anyways, whew. Okay, that makes me just really excited, like, to see you there, baby sleeping, and think of you in corporate world. So thanks for sharing your story. It's super inspiring. And it's true, you guys, like, anybody can do it. So we are going to shoot over to my coach, Ashley Horvath.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Okay. I'm going to apologize up front because I don't do a lot of adult talking. So I've got my notes so I stay focused, and I'm here. And toddler's on the bed, and I've given him a phone, a TV. He's ready to go. So I've got my 6 to 7 minutes. Okay. So like Whitney said, my story's a little bit different. I didn't come into Beachbody needing to lose weight or to find something that was going to work for me to, kind of get to a lifestyle as needing. I can't say that I was fit. I was fit-ish. I played volleyball 6-7 times, a week at nights. But then afterwards, we didn't go out and get like a bowl of quinoa and, eat the rainbow. We'd go and have beer as our protein. So, but it was my story. I'll kind of do it into, there's lots of different parts, but I'll focus it on the community aspect. I am from Chicago, born and raised my whole life. I now live amongst the Amish in Indiana, in Goshen, Indiana. So at 36 years old, I met my husband online. I wanted a tall man, and tall men in Chicago said, "You're too short. I don't want my kids to be short." So I had to cross the Indiana border to get a man. We love volleyball, but I was an Instamom. He had 2 kids. He was divorced. He had them in his full custody. So when I moved in. We met in March. We met in March. In October, September, we got engaged. I moved in November. His ex-wife went to federal prison in January. We got married in October. We got pregnant in that year and had our baby in June. So my story is more about community for me because I moved to a small town, knew nobody. He was married. Everybody knows the story. Oh, you're the Horvaths? Are you that Horvath family? You bet I am. I'm 2.0 version though. So I like to say I'm the version that stepped it up. So I came into this as a stay-at-home mom, but never wanted to be one, never had that goal. I'm on the phone. Okay, afterwards. For me, it was, I started working when I was 12. I was raised by a single mom. She instilled hard, being a dedicated hard worker, you put the work in, you get your paycheck, that type of thing. So moving to, and the funny part is I have a rescue dog from an Amish puppy mill. So now I live with the Amish. I do call on them, but, so I said, focus here. So I moved to a small town, knew nobody. The people who I had met were through volleyball with his connection. They were married, played volleyball, so they were their friends. Not a problem. I don't care. Like, I don't look at them and go, oh, ex-wife can't be your friend. But there is a difference. I don't have the same mentality. I think when you create a federal crime, then I don't have anything in common with you. So if you're friends with them, I don't want to necessarily be your friend. So I needed to find people in a small town, because it's true. Like, these people who didn't leave after college, who came home, they're all friends from like 5 years old. And it's hard to get into a group like that. I've never lived anywhere else except for Chicago. And I've never really been the new kid on the block or the new kid in classroom before. So for me, I only knew fitness and volleyball. So I played volleyball, had some friends here and there. But again, it wasn't really my thing. Had a girlfriend who saw me posting on my own, my sweaty selfies, me talking about how it makes me feel and I'm all happy and, like your quotes and things like that, and just started coming after me for the coaching side. And I was like, I don't have a transformation side. I don't know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Got married, had my baby. And then everybody told me, ooh, you're an elder mom. You're not going to be able to run and jump and laugh without peeing yourself. And I was like, I'm sorry. that's not going to happen for me. So for me, it was like, I needed a place where I could come and talk to women who were my age, maybe younger, older, had more kids, less kids, the whole gamut of it, because everything in my world had totally been turned upside down. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where to be friends with. I found this group of women that we had a workout group in the mornings. We were called the Real Housewives of Sharply Training. And then he decided to go big, open his own gym. And if you've never done CrossFit memberships are really pricey. So to go from, regular gym membership to that, I lost again my community. So for me, when she reached out to me for the coaching side, I didn't really look at the community necessarily for accountability for my workouts. It was more of like getting to know these coaches. I sat in on a couple of like their coach calls. I did a couple of the morning wake up calls. And for me, it was really just understanding this community, because I had my volleyball friends. I didn't have women. And now I needed women. I needed people who were going to be like-minded, who want to put themselves first, because the world was coming at them in all different ways and they didn't know how to manage. I didn't know how to manage. I've never been a mom. And now I had 2 kids that were 4 and 7, and they were 100% in my care. I was living in that, amongst people I didn't know. And so I needed a place that I could be me and really hone in on me. And so Beachbody became that place. Whitney was this like god of a woman out there who was a single, was this mom, she was kind of doing like the same thing I was, met her husband online. They were living together, getting married. I think she got married that first year I was a coach, so it was just finding these women that kind of had a story or something that I could hold on to, that I could reach out to, that was different. Because my friends in Chicago, honestly, I was single because they were all single, or they were all dating each other, or, you didn't get married until you were in your 40s and I wasn't there yet. So it was just finding a place to really become me, because I had been thrown into a place where I didn't know who I was. And so like Whitney said, I am a fitness instructor. I got certified in size. I'm certified in core de force. I only actively teach core de force. And where I teach is a very small boutique. I've got my bedhead crew. I've got 4 to 6 people that come on a regular weekly. I teach at 5:30 in the morning, super early, so I know that. And these women, this community, it's a small group. I didn't even know they existed. And literally all I knew here was volleyball and gyms. And I didn't even know this gym was here in my small town. And I found them because of being certified. They taught turbo kick and plyo. And so for me, it's putting myself out there and teaching and educating and sharing with other women and other moms that life is hard, life is confusing, life can throw so many things at you, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm a type A. I feel like I have to take everything on and then not ask for help. And I'm learning I need to ask for help because I don't know what I'm doing 90% of the time. The 10% I do, I feel like, is Beachbody. And I think it's because they provide us with such a great background of like a tool shed, not even a tool belt. We wear the tool belt and they've got the tool shed. And it's like all these tools, like for $15 a month, they basically give us a business and we run it. Like that's incredible. You can't do that anywhere, and I think coaching for me, again, I'm all over the place and I'll wrap it up with, I don't really share about my hubby's background. I've been working since I was 12. I needed a community. Sorry, that's my son making weird noises in the background. I needed a community of women or men where I could talk to, whether it was about working out, whether it was about life, whether it was about just understanding being a woman, mother, that type of thing. But I also needed a place where I could feel like I was contributing, because we did have this debt. I get married. I had become debt-free literally 3 months before I met my husband. And then I meet him and I fall in love like on date 1. It's going to happen. And then he's like, hey, I've got this U-Haul van behind me. It's coming with. And it was like, how do you manage all this? So for me, I wanted to be able to provide for my family, but also we wanted for the kids, because of all that had happened to them. And on top of it, they're adopted from Ethiopia. So like we wanted in their small lives not to have so much change. And so for me, it was like, stay home, but I need something for me. And so that was Beachbody. It gave me an outsource where I didn't have to leave the house if I didn't need to or didn't have to. And I could still have hundreds, thousands of people from all walks of life, all over, just ready to talk, help, share. Like you said, like on this call, there's all these people from different teams and we're here helping because it's so awesome. We're not in competition. Where in this world are women not in competition? I mean, this to me is awesome. And this is something that I wish I would have learned a lot earlier in my life, is that having women as friends in a community and And finding them, whether it's, you know, a sister or just another friend, is really important because I think it helps shape who we are and it makes it be a better place because we are so hard on ourselves as moms and as women, as role models. And then when you find this 400,000 people community of people doing the same thing, it's life-changing and it's awesome. Like, I want to be able to retire my husband. And with this, I feel like because what happens is my effort, I know if that's what we're going to do, it's on me, and Beachbody is there supporting and cheering you on. And like Z said, they support and they lift you up. I mean, I've never been places that you get celebrated like you do here for kicking ass and helping other people. I mean, it's amazing. And they're just getting started, and we've only hit like 3 countries out of the whole world. I mean, come on. So it's a cool place. It's not about a product. It's about a lifestyle. It's about ending obesity. And to me, to be in a community working for a company like this, there's just nothing better. And I'll shut up now. I talk way too much. And this was nowhere near any of my notes. So
You're awesome, Ash. I love it. And I just want to let you guys know, I asked Ashley last night to speak and she was like, sure, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I love what we do. And that's the point, is like, you can call on anybody and be like, share your story. And that's what we want to do, is just show that you can be different. It doesn't matter. We all have different backgrounds. So thanks for sharing, Ash. I am going to pass over to our last speaker today, Jessica.
So those are all great. Those are hard to follow. I always hate going last. So for me, my story, and I'll do the fast forwarded version, but really I think it began, I was 19 when I had my first kiddo. She's 19 and a sophomore in college now, which is crazy. She's the age I was when I had her. Growing up, I always knew like I wanted to be home with my kids. Like being a mom was like the one thing I really wanted to do. Like when I went to the daycare, I always wanted to be with the babies. Like I just always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So when I got pregnant with her, I was like, well, I wasn't really expecting to have to figure out how to do this like now, how to be a stay-at-home mom. So I went and got a diploma in medical transcription. Turns out that nobody wants to hire you to do that from home unless you have experience. So I had to work like 50, 60 hours in a doctor's office to make ends meet. I eventually got to have my dream of going home, doing medical transcription from home. And then electronic medical records came along. And medical transcriptionists, while we still exist, were having the competition. There was just not enough work for the people. And in order to stay competitive, I basically had to slash what I was making in half to be able to even do it at all. So my salary basically within like a 6 month to 12 month time period went half of what it was. And at that time I was 34 and had a 4-year-old also, in addition to my 15-year-old. And I was kind of in this like, I want to be able to stay home with him. We decided I was going to until he was in kindergarten, but I was like, it's not looking like I'm going to make it another year on what we're making. So that was kind of like in my mind, but I had all this stress going on. I was emotionally eating. I'm an emotional eater. I mean, I was like going to McDonald's 2-3 times a day. It was disgusting. I mean, I was drinking a 2-liter soda. Like I just was like not taking care of myself at all. I was full on like, just get through the next second mode, right? Like just in full on survival mode, but like not taking care of myself at all. I've tried a few different things, diets, workouts, gym memberships, none of it stuck. And I think for me, because I am extroverted, but I'm also shy, which I know makes no sense, but it's true. So when I would go to the gym, like I would just like be the one in the back of the class. Like, please, you know, if people talk to me, that was great, but I was like not going to talk to them. Like, so I wasn't really connecting. And like I said, I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I didn't realize how lonely it can get. And like Ashley said, like I was in like toddler speak and like talk to kids all day long, but I mean, I literally would forget words when I'd be out with my girlfriends. I'd be like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like, I have no idea what I was about to say. And it's because I've been home with my kids for so long. So I was really missing out on like a community. And a friend invited me to a challenge group, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. Okay, let me look at it. And I looked it over. And at that point, I had realized that we were eating a lot of processed food. We were eating a lot of crap. I was feeding my family junk. I was eating even more junk. And so I'd already kind of started to make the switch of like, okay, let's try to eat a little bit healthier. I didn't really know what I was doing. I don't have a nutrition background. And she was telling me about Shakeology, and I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to give it a try. And so I got it. I didn't even sign up as a coach at first because I was so like, that's not a real job, right? Like, I was like, that's not, like, you can't really make money doing that. So I'm just going to sign up as a challenger. Dumb, because I totally missed out on a killer discount for like 3 months. Idiot. Because I loved Shakeology and I loved the community. Like, that really something about being online. I was able to like be really real and raw and open with people. I didn't even know. I don't know why it works that way, but it did. And I was actually doing it. Like, something stuck. I haven't quit in 4 years, just on my own personal health journey. I've kept going, even though we've had really rotten stuff happen. Like, I've stuck with it, and that's huge for me. So there's got to be something crazy special about it. But besides that, then I finally did decide, okay, I'll look into this coaching thing. Because friends started asking me, they're like, okay, Jessica, you've lost like 30 pounds. And that was during Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Like, I started at like the worst time of year, right? To start, you would think, but it worked. And I lost weight, and I still ate pumpkin pie and had all that stuff, but, so my friends were asking about it, and I messaged my coach, and I'm like, hey, I got some friends that want to start. You want me to just send them like your email or something? She's like, why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why don't you just have them sign up with you? They trust you. You're their friend. Like, you could be their coach. I'm like, I'm not a coach. So, we talked some more about it, and then it kind of just stuck in the back of my head, and I tossed it around. And I thought, you know what? I could give it a try, because I really love this community so much. And I love that my friends are inspired, because it's not like I'm like a fitness guru or a nutritionist, but like, I had learned some things I felt like I could share and help them. And I felt like I was a part of something, and that felt really good. And then in that 4 years, I've managed to, within the first year and a half, I managed to make up the difference in my income that I had lost when medical transcription kind of took a tank. So I do still own my transcription business, but it really it's kind of become my side income, whereas Beachbody's become my main income. So it actually is a real job. You actually can make money doing that. I can't guarantee you any level of income, yada, yada. But if you put the work in and you genuinely want to make a difference, and you're willing to also make your own health a priority, Z touched on that a little bit. Like, it really, having a company that says to me, take care of yourself, yeah, that's awesome. And then a community that lifts me up, because some of my very best friends now, I wouldn't have known if I hadn't joined Beachbody. And like, my very best friend lives in England, and she's a Beachbody coach. We would never have met each other probably. And now we talk every day. So just some people have been there for me in really rough times, and being able to actually provide an income, especially with a college student, because that is not cheap. If you do not have college students, prepare. It is not cheap. And they're always calling for money for food and such. So, so that's definitely been a huge blessing that I have this great, amazing income. So that's it.
Oh, thanks, ladies. So good to hear your story. All right, we're going to wrap it up this morning, but thank you so much for watching. Please talk to the person that invited you. You guys, I love that Jessica hit on like, this isn't the right time of year, because that's why we're needed. I honestly think this is the best time of year to sign up, because then you can help people through the holidays that need you. And then you're there to help them and right into the new year. And you learn everything now, get going now. And then when the whole world decides to finally start in January, they will need you and you'll be there and ready to go. So I definitely always think the fall is like the very best time to sign up. And I encourage it strongly. So I guess, the last thing is like, why wait? Like honestly, what do you have to lose except some weight? Like we are here to help you. And you can join this great community and meet all these wonderful women and men. So thanks for watching. And yes, ask your coach for any questions and we'll see you in the group. Bye.